guess you're going to have to get in the sun and I'm going to have to stay in the shade.
Okay.
If you like it, I love it, Todd.
Okay, that's beautiful. All right, folks. Get on the line here. Todd Ryan with CoolFMOnline.com. I'm on the road here at Veterans Park, and this is day 2, a different protest today. It's basically Sierra Vista Unite movement, walk and vigil, and these are the organizers of this event today. Sierra Walker to my left, and Israel Agwan, correct?
Azriel, but that's fine.
Azriel.
Yes,
we still love you.
Yeah,
to my right. Well, ladies, are you ready here?
Absolutely. We are ecstatic right now. Look at our turnout. People are showing up.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is just the meeting spot. We will also be on the 4 corners of Taco Bell, Valero, Food City, and Target, and then we will hold our candlelight vigil afterwards. I'm more than happy. Everybody's welcome, and this is beautiful today, so yes.
Israel, you're going to have like I say, you're going to be out at the 4 corners for a while this afternoon. So
yes.
If people want to come out anytime, even just for a few minutes,
yes.
to show support.
Absolutely. People are just coming just to show us love here and, to give us their support. We understand a lot of people have things they got to do and they have a life, and we understand that you want to show us love. Just come by and give us a couple honks, or come march with us and be with us. You can come whenever you would like. Also, there will be places already set up for people who cannot walk with us to be there. So.
And as far as, are you taking care of people in regards to water? And
Absolutely. We've got tons of water and electrolytes for you. We're going to get some food out here later on. This is just really for Sierra Vista to come together and show our support about everything that's going on in the United States, all of the brutality, all of the deaths. This is us showing our support and showing how we can come together as a community and do that.
All right. Now, as far as the vigil tonight at 6, anything in particular planned? Do you have any guests or anything like that? Anybody coming that you could mention right now?
We do have a couple of our reverends, our local reverends, that are going to be speaking. Our police officers are going to be speaking. We do have some guest veterans that are going to come speak. It's going to be amazing.
Because it's not just, it's kind of a memorial for the veterans as well too, right?
It's a way to say thank you to our veterans. We really wanted to involve the whole community, just for the reason that we want to say thank you, because they give us this right to, and fight for us so we can protest and to have these meetings and to be able to speak out like that. And so we do want to say thank you to our veterans for that.
All right.
And we do want to show that all of our veterans are all different colors.
Yes.
But when they unite, we get those freedoms. So if we unite, just look what we can do.
All right, ladies, I guess you're ready to kick it off today. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And like you say, if people want to be a part of this, you're going to be out here for a while this afternoon on the 4 corners by Valero, because that's where you're going to, and then you're going to head back here to Veterans Park for the vigil at 6 o'clock with some speakers.
So we'll be heading back from the 4 corners about 5:30, just so we can give ourselves enough time to get up here for the candle vigil at 6. Okay.
All right, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, all right, here we go, folks. It's ready to get underway here. A little smaller crowd so far today than yesterday. A massive turnout for the march/walk from the mall, Sierra Vista Mall, to the police station. About 400 or so people turned out there. But this is just the beginning here. People are just starting to come. And also the vigil tonight at 6 o'clock. Who knows how many people will show up for that as well. see if we can try to find some people to talk to as well in the process here. They wanted to make sure and call this and label this the Sierra Vista Unite Movement Walk and Vigil. This specific title about bringing people together. They also have a Facebook page that they have created called SV Unite Movement, and it's a group page where you can join them on Facebook as well. We are at Veterans Park in Sierra Vista, Arizona. The protest march for today is going to take off shortly. This is George Broxton underneath the mask.
Yes.
Good to see you here, George.
Following our guidance, our social guidance.
Well, the new numbers came out today, and unfortunately saw an increase in Cochise County.
Unfortunate, that it's kind of still going up a little bit, but hopefully, maybe one day if we all follow a little bit of guidance that's being given to us, we can get those numbers to go in the other way.
Yeah.
So,
well, George,
that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, no, that's another discussion. But
right.
What brings you out today, George? What made you decide to actually partake in this? Obviously, you probably saw the first protest last night.
Well, yes, yeah, I saw I heard about the one on Friday, and then I wasn't able to make that one, so I wanted to come to this one today. And I've been wanting to make it out to one. So I heard about this one happening today, the Unite movement that's going to be going on, and I was like, that seems like a good one to go be a part of. And I believe in community, so community is very, very important, and events like this are going to help us become stronger as a community. So yeah.
Well, George, we also want to let folks know that, George, you started a few weeks ago. You're a music DJ as far as you do dances and weddings. You have Sierra Sounds, right?
Yes, yep, we do. It's a local DJ service and sound company, and with your help, Cool FM's help, we were able to start. I love 80s music, so I love DJing that style music, and we started a show called 80s on the 8s. Happens at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now. We've added Friday to it because people like it a lot. They want to hear more. So we've added that to it as well. So, and then it's just a show where we pick all musical selections from the 80s and do little fun things and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah, I have to tell you, folks, if you love music, if you love the 80s, George is a master at mixing, and he really does put together a great show. So I encourage you, if you don't have our music app, download it. It's free through your Google or Apple Play Store. Just search for Cool FM online. Got to put in the online part.
Yes.
And that's cool with a C, by the way, not a K. And or just go to our website, coolfmonline.com, and you can find out how to do it there too. Or you can listen through the website.
And we're doing a special edition.
That's right. I wanted to
of
get
80s
to that.
on the 8th this weekend. We're saying in solidarity, we stand in solidarity edition of 80s on the 8th, where we feature all black artists from the 80s. So all the music that you're going to hear on this weekend's 80s on the 8 is going to be all black artists from the 80s, which is a very diverse range of styles of music that were happening in the 80s.
Yeah. And so that's tonight at 8, tomorrow morning at 8, and Sunday night at 8. But it's every weekend. George puts this on, starting Friday nights at 8 and running through the weekend, Sunday night at 8 on the 8s. And we encourage folks to check that out.
Yeah.
But it's a special weekend this weekend that
this
you've
one,
dedicated.
that we dedicated to the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's why we're out here today. To be a part of what others have helped put together and organize. I didn't have any part in this particular movement, but I want to be a part of it. I want to come out and support it. And I got to be honest, it kind of, I'm glad I'm here, but it's also heartbreaking that we still have to have things like this in our society, in our day and time. It's very heartbreaking. It's angering at the same time that we're still having to do stuff like this. But I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad that the world is speaking out. And that we see people coming together and standing together in unity as one human race. One human race. That's what it boils down to.
All right, George. Well, thank you so much, and we'll maybe talk to you a little bit later. We're here at Veterans Park. People are still coming in, and they're going to have water as well and stuff for folks because we're going to be heading down over to the Four Corners intersection.
90 and 92.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and people can come down there till 6, and just join in there too. You don't have to do the march to be part of that. If you want to just show up at some point, show up down there and join in.
Even for just a few minutes if you choose to do so.
Yeah, if you're a human being, come on down. Even if you're not a human being, I don't know what you might be, but, come on down.
Well, all ghosts are welcome as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, but the vigil is tonight at 6.
Yes.
So if you can't make any of the daytime stuff, and you want to have something a little cooler, because as I checked, George, I checked the weather forecast, it's going to be 89 degrees instead of the current temperature of 92 at 6 o'clock.
It's beautiful either way. I'm a desert rat, so it doesn't bother me. But
anyway, so the vigil will be at 6 o'clock tonight here, so if you can't make any of it today, this afternoon I should say, come on down tonight at 6. So.
Yes.
But more and more people are coming right now.
Oh yeah, tons of people. It's a good turnout. We even got people here from the city, and we got some of our local law enforcement as well, providing protection, making sure stuff goes safely, because that's what we're here for. Not to cause problems or bring more violence, but we're here to protest that. So we've got that here as well for those who may be a little bit worried about something like that. That's not the case in this situation. So come on down, join us, exercise your constitutional rights.
We got the gentleman from the Herald here taking pictures as well.
Yep.
And that's the only media that I've seen so far here. Has there been any other media that you've noticed, George?
There's another lady going around with some kind of social media. I'm not sure what she's with. I don't really know, but maybe a blog of hers or something.
Yeah.
My lady is here.
Yes, Chelsea, right?
Yes.
Hello, Chelsea.
Hi.
She's here. Do you have any signs made?
Yes.
Let me see some of this. So, well-thought signs. Well, no wonder why Chelsea is a artist. That's why they look so nice. I forgot about that.
Yeah. If I did them, you wouldn't be able to read them.
Same here. Yeah. Oh, here's a wise lady. She's already got her umbrella that she bought. Yeah, I can't blame you there.
Absolutely.
Smart thinking.
Why, thank you. And this is really the message. We have to have the courage to be the change that we want to see, right? And it starts with our young people taking ownership of the future of this country. And this racism in this country oppresses all of us.
a Sierra Vista resident?
I am indeed.
All right. Are you on in city government?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, were you part of the protest yesterday?
I
Friday?
was.
Okay.
And that was a long walk for someone my age.
Yeah. Oh, really? Anybody?
Right.
That was something else, but
Yeah.
but people did it, and it was a really pretty amazing turnout and event.
Yes,
Did
it
surprise
was.
you at all?
Do you know how many people showed
we
up?
think between around 400 or so, give or take.
Right, I was amazed. And I did want to be there right from the beginning, right from the mall, so that the organizer, who I believe was a very young woman, could see how much support there was. I'm very proud when we see young people taking the reins of leadership, absolutely.
How long have you been a resident here?
18 years.
Okay, so you've been here for a while.
I have been.
You've seen a lot.
Yes, I've seen our curbside recycling come and go, and yeah.
The wind's picking up a little bit here,
Yes, it
which
is.
could affect the sound sometimes on our microphone. But
Yep.
yesterday was really, really windy.
Yes, and where are you from?
That is yesterday anyway.
Are you are a Sierra Vista resident also?
Yeah, I've been here for about 4 years. Well, I
Okay.
left for a year and came back, so a total of 4 years.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm Todd Ryan with Cool FM Online, in case you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody sees my face usually,
Oh,
so.
well, you got a real nice voice.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you didn't nothing about the face, huh?
Oh, and a super face.
I know.
For all those just listening, beautiful face.
Thank you so much. You're the same. Anyway, well, hey,
Yeah.
appreciate. Thanks for
Thanks
the
for
words.
showing up.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a time in this country like no other. I've never seen anything like this. I guess you have to go back to what 1968 they say, but I was a little baby. I mean, I was a year old.
Well, you know, I was born in 1961, and I was living in the inner city of Buffalo, New York, and actually, those were very troubled times in the city, and I just feel like all these years later, nearly 60 years later, we're fighting the same fights. It can end today. All it takes is the will of the people. That's all it takes. You know, I don't think we can call ourselves Christians or patriots if we don't stand up and do something about this.
Well, thank you so much for your words. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. What is your name?
Claudia Shalacy.
Claudia. I
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so one of the local
Got some donated water here as well for the folks. As more people are coming to join in. Someone trying to call me, please do not call me. I'm using my phone to record. Please do not call me. Thank you.
How long you been? I call you and say, what you doing?
I'm so used to thinking of you as LT.
I would worry about it.
talk to me? Pastor Mark Perry, how are you doing, sir?
Good.
By the way, I'm Todd Ryan with Cool FM Online.
Hi.
We're live right now. Just wanted to just get your thoughts. What brings you down here today? What made you decide to come and join the movement here?
So the Bible has a section that's called the prophets. The prophetic voice is an integral part of our biblical witness, and this is a part of that prophetic tradition to speak out, speak up, and act out for the sake of justice for all people. And especially after what happened with George Floyd, that was just a spark that needs to be lit under the fire of justice and equality for all. It's something that our country has not really dealt with on a deep level for centuries. And so I'm just one part of those who are trying to add to that prophetic voice.
All right, I hear you. It's certainly unlike any time in the country that I've seen in my lifetime. Now, granted, I'm 52 years old. I guess we have to go back to, 1968 with all the protests back then, maybe, to have some sort of comparison. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, especially during this COVID-19 time.
Yeah, you add that to it as well.
Yeah, and a lot of other things. There's a lot that's unprecedented, of course, but we're very grateful in this country that we have the freedom of the First Amendment rights to be able to express, and that's something that we should be doing. Whatever we believe in, whatever we think is better for our fellow human beings, it's something that we should be doing all the time. And so even though this might be unique to a lot of people, it's something that I think happens at all kinds of levels. It's just now upswelling of a huge population that's behind it.
Right. Again, Pastor Mark Perry, Sierra Evangelical Lutheran Church, and of course I'm sure you invite folks out to your church. When do you guys usually have services, by the way?
So, like many, we're live streaming our services.
Oh, you're still live streaming?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's some churches that did open up last week.
They are, but see, we've never been closed. We don't talk about opening up again. It'll just be back into in-person worship. Because we're still doing good ministry, we're still worshiping, but just live stream, and that's at 10 a.m. at selcaz.org on Sundays, also archived for a number of weeks afterwards.
Okay.
So people are welcome to join us then, and we're not looking at so much at a calendar date as a wellness date to open up when things are going down more after 14 days, that kind of thing. But right now it's on a big upswing.
Okay. Pastor, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Good to see you.
Yep. All right. The good pastor joining us today. Day 2 of the protest movement here in Sierra Vista. Right now we're still congregating at Veterans Park in Sierra Vista.
Gather in. Pretty please. We are going to be starting this march. We would like to thank everybody for being here today and supporting what we're trying to accomplish here in Sierra Vista and uniting the community. We are going to be leaving here soon. We do ask that if you have children during the walk to keep them on the inside of you, away from the street, just to be safe. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys. So if you guys are ready, let's get it started. If you're not able to walk and you would like to meet us there, you can meet us at the Chili's parking lot, and there'll already be somebody setting up there for you guys. All right? Cool. Let's get it.
Hey Todd, what's up, bud?
Sierra, do you want me to take these with us? Or?
Yeah. If anybody needs a sign, we have signs already pre-made. Anybody?
Hey! Stop! You got something that needs to go down to the protest area.
Yes, ma'am.
Put it on that blue rod right in the parking area.
How about it? Yes, ma'am.
What was it you said?
We're going to walk up there from 2 to 6, and then from 6 to 7 we'll have our candlelight vigil here.
Yeah, get
So we'll be leaving around from
get a
there.
flag with whatever on it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you would like to meet us there, you can, if it'd be easier for yourself to walk, whatever's best for you. Okay? All right, thank you. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, they are now leaving Veterans Park officially. A little later start than I think they planned, but they wanted to allow a little more time to have more people join in the start of it.
Yeah, that was. All about the school and stuff.
Oh, good, good, good.
Hi, officer.
How are you?
Are you okay talking like me? Hi, officer. How are you doing?
Good.
What is your name?
Commander Lawrence Boutte. Well,
Okay.
Lawrence Boutte is my name. I'm a commander
Yeah,
of Service
we
Police
can
Department.
walk. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And now you're obviously here, just to kind of oversee things today. And
Make sure safety of the group as they get down there to their area.
how long have you been a member of the Sierra Vista Police Force?
Working on 23 years now.
You've been here that long?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I don't know. I imagine you have your own thoughts on things. Do you care to share any?
About
Everything in this movement right now, what's going on in this country right now at this time in history. Do you feel that it's a moment of change?
Yeah, it's definitely a moment of change. I don't think anybody can argue that it's not a moment of change. Definitely a moment of change. And it wasn't sparked by one incident, but one incident was the match on the fire that I put out there, and I don't think anybody could argue that was a pretty egregious thing that went there. And it's starting to migrate towards more peaceful protests, and that's what we do. That's what this country is based on, is that type of change. So
yeah. As far as things in general in regards to Sierra Vista Police Department, there really hasn't been many incidences over the years here.
Correct.
As far as I know.
Right. Yeah.
Things have been pretty safe.
Yeah, it's been pretty, absolutely. That's one of the things you'll notice with the Sierra Vista Police Department. I would say whether you notice or not, but Sierra Vista Police Department, we stay involved in the community. We have a ride-along program. Goodness, we would love folks, if you have questions about how and what the police do, ride along with us. It's a short background check, and then you can schedule a ride along up to 20 hours a year. We have community forums. We run the Citizens Police Academy, and we train folks in that. We like to. It's for us. We like to say it's a cooperative effort between the police department and the citizens, not the police monitoring the citizens. It's both of us working together for a safer community. So I love it here. That's my thing, because we have great support from the community, and So it just makes working great because we do have that kind of backing from the community, and it's because of the relationships that we've developed.
Yeah, because I would think seeing something like this as a police officer and these incidents, it's got to be difficult.
Pause here for a second.
Yeah,
make sure
go ahead.
everybody gets through okay.
Right here, but I got the green sign in my hand. Me and me in the back. Right here at the Taco Bell.
Come on. Good boy. Cross. You going in here? Yeah. Go ahead. All right, so.
Yeah. It's got to be difficult and upsetting, to say the least, when you see some of these incidences like what sparked this recent one as a police officer. It's got to frustrate you, to say the least, I would imagine. It's got to make your job a little harder.
Oh, it absolutely makes the job harder as we go along. Is I mean, number one, violence and rioting. That I don't know that really solves anything. So that part, and then when they catch the actions of some officers that's possibly using excessive force, that's that. And then there we go, we start that up again. So
Yeah.
we're trying to bring this. We need to bring this down to where it's peaceful and the change can be meaningful. Kind of detracts from it when it becomes just, it's all focused on the violence that's going on.
Yeah.
So it detracts from the whole movement altogether.
Well, as far as the Sierra Vista Police Department, is there a lot of training that is involved in regards to making sure that some of these incidences that we see across the country on social media that spark some of the unrest and the protest, they don't happen here?
Yeah, that is the key. I mean, training is everything. And what I first want to say is that what you saw on the news, I don't know of a single police agency across the world that trains placing your knee on a person's neck, unless it's a deadly force situation, which that's not a training technique. That would just be deadly. There is no deadly force situation there, so that was outside of any training, which is why you see there was an arrest made. There was no training at all. I'm even taking into things like excited delirium, positional asphyxia. All training states that even if you have a person down, that you get them up into a recovery position as quickly as possible. So we have defensive tactic training where we go over that sort of stuff. We have 4 hours of in-service training a month where we go over law and legal techniques. We go over things. It's you ask any officer out there, they'd be like, "Oh, we got training again." We constantly we have to continue training because things are ever evolving in this. Slow down.
We still got the 35 though, baby. We still got the 35.
Those are ones. All right. But you guys get to see some good things on here. It's like, goodness, man, why are you driving that fast? You got some people on the side of the road.
Yeah, if people are driving this way, might want to take that into mind to not drive so fast or get a little over if you can, instead of the lane closest to the cycle. Well, officer, thank you so much for spending a little time with us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and thank you for taking the time to ask about that. It's like I said, I'd hate to put a plug in, but I am going to put a plug in. Once this coronavirus or COVID-19, etc. is gone, I encourage folks that have questions about the police, sign up for our Citizens Police Academy. In addition, come in and ride with us, because that's the best thing. I mean, I love giving people opportunity. That way you can sit in the car, you can see what a normal night looks like, what a busy night looks like. So, thank you.
You betcha, officer. All right. And if folks want to, do you have information on, is there a website or Facebook? Or
Absolutely, they can
give
go.
You guys a call, I suppose.
But the bottom line is you can go to https://sierravistaz.gov, all one word, and click on the police department, and there will be links and hyperlinks that'll take you directly to information about the police department, the Citizens Police Academy, and the Ride Along program. All right? Absolutely.
out today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Supporting the cause, huh? Give me a fist here. Give me a fist. All right.
Thank you, boys. Calm down. We're all walking. You guys don't have to yell at each other. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Well, how you doing, ma'am?
Good.
Good. What brought you out to the protest today in your mind as you grapple with things?
Just to show the support.
Well, and you're definitely doing that.
Yeah, we've been doing this since yesterday at yesterday's protest and last Saturday.
Were you here yesterday as well?
Yes.
Did you walk the full 4 miles?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Well, they got up this morning. They came back here for my niece, and they went to this.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. What is your name?
Tamika.
All right. So you, I think I've seen you around before. You work at like one of the fast food places.
I used to be at Wendy's.
Oh, that's where it was. Okay, sure. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The protest movement heading down to the Four Corners, Fry Boulevard and AZ90, next to Valero, Chili's, and of course Taco Bell. Still a nice breeze here today. Sometimes affects microphone quality when the wind kicks up a little too much. And it's 91 degrees right now when I check the temperature. But not a surprise. I mean, it is Arizona. So. So they're going to be here for a few hours until about 5:30, protesting on all four corners of the intersection here in Sierra Vista. And then they're going to head back down to Veterans Park at 6 o'clock for the planned memorial vigil. And And I understand some representatives from the NAACP will be there. Local pastors from the Christian community. I believe some city council members are scheduled to be there. A few of them, I don't know who. I know that Gwen Calhoun was here earlier, and William Benning was here yesterday. I know that. I have not seen him today yet, unless I just missed him. But I know he was here to show support. William Benning was yesterday. So we're going to be here for a little while longer, and then we will sign back on for the vigil tonight at 6 o'clock at Veterans Park. So if you can't make it out here, if you believe in this movement this afternoon and want to show up at 6 o'clock, that's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. It's been peaceful so far, and all indications are no one's, hurting anybody here. It's about as peaceful as it can get. And so then we will restart our coverage at 6 o'clock tonight, live streaming, and we want to also say hi to everybody on Chit Chat Sierra Vista. Chit Chat Sierra Vista as well joining us. Welcome aboard to our live stream coverage on Cool FM Online. Here last night. The police chief actually walked all 4 miles yesterday with the protest movement yesterday. He was there. Quick counting here. It's about 100 people here. 100 people here protesting so far today. At this time, who knows how many people will show up tonight at 6 o'clock at Veterans Park for the vigil.
peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Another unarmed black man killed in the streets. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
No peace.
No peace!
No
No
peace.
peace! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
No peace. No peace.
God bless you, sir.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
No, the other way.
No peace! No peace! No peace! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace!
No peace.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd!
No peace.
No peace!
No peace.
George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! No peace! No peace! No peace! George Floyd! George Floyd! George Floyd! No peace! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
George Floyd.
What's his name?
George Floyd.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
What's his name?
George Floyd.
Black Lives
vigil.
Yes, I was.
Last Monday? Tuesday.
Saturday. Was it Saturday? Forget the days now.
Yeah. What brought you out today?
We all need to make a change. It takes a village, and we all have the ability, the capacity to do it. And if one person is being harassed, I'm being harassed. It's how we have to look at it. It's equality is one for all for one. And I can't see just walking and turning the other way. That's not me. I don't want it to be my kids or my grandkids. I want them to grow up and make a difference in this world. And that comes with community involvement, personal involvement. Begins with caring and compassion. And not just thinking about ourselves all the time.
Looks like you brought a friend with you.
Yeah, Jesse decided he'd hang out with me. He's for Black Lives Matter also.
Oh, so you found out he whispered to you that he's a supporter.
Yes, he is a supporter. He's an avid supporter. He says Dragon Lives Matter. If Dragon Lives Matter, everyone else matter too. Yeah.
Well, it looks like he's trying to whisper to you as well, saying something to you.
Oh yeah, he's saying, Mom, it's about time for me to get me a drink of water too.
Thank you. What is your name, by the way?
And
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
thanks for being here and covering it, Todd. I appreciate it.
No peace! No peace!
What brings you out? Are you from Sierra Vista?
Yes!
What brought you out today?
Well, we saw this yesterday and wanted to join in, but we weren't sure what time they were showing up.
Yeah.
And so today we were at the park of the baby shower and saw them, and we just had to join in, you know. It's very, very important. Very important.
Well, they be here for a little while yet, and then I guess they're going to do a vigil at 6 o'clock back at Veterans Park.
Okay. Well, we're going to be there.
All right, well, thank you for talking with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Grab my phone. Black Lives Matter. I want it back. All my little girls, my whole little life got it stolen. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. His name. George Floyd. George Floyd. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. George Floyd! What's his name? 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 George Floyd! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Black man killed in the streets! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! another unarmed black man killed in the streets. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd.
Write it, but those are their words.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! No peace!
No peace! I can't breathe!
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! No justice! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! What's his name? George Floyd! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! What's his name? George Floyd! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Another unarmed black man killed in the streets. No justice. No peace. 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 Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. No justice. No peace.
You know, this is Councilperson Gwen Calhoun, correct?
That's correct.
And, well, my sister's name is Gwen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You don't
I
meet
did
many
remember the
Gwens.
Gwen part. I just forgot about the Calhoun. Anyway, Councilperson, well, how long have
Just
you been on
Gwen.
the city
Just called
council?
10 years.
Oh, 10 years, okay.
Yes.
And what district, is it a district that you represent, or how does that?
We represent the entire community.
Okay.
So we don't have districts or wards.
Okay, I see. Now, what brought you out today? I think were you here yesterday as well for the protest? Or
I
not?
was not, no.
Okay.
So
All right. But you decided to come out today.
I knew 3 miles would be a bit much for me yesterday, so I knew this would be a shorter walk, so I was able to do this one. And I came out because it's just been too much over the years. And the straw that broke the camel's back was Mr. Floyd. It's unfortunate that it took that much to get me out and get so many of us out. But this won't end with this kind of demonstration. Changes have to come about. We've waited a long time. So, and now we need to act like our predecessors did, like the folks that came before us did, who got out in the streets and who tried to do legislatively what needed to be done. And we still have a lot more that needs to happen, starting with this issue around police brutality. Thank God we have cell phones now, so we can take pictures of things as they happen, because what we see in pictures now is just a little bitty piece of all that's happened over the last 50 years.
Is there any specific things that you see that you can call for in regards to, I don't know, maybe getting rid of certain bad cops quicker? I know some people contend that the unions of police are very strong, and it's prevented some of the ones that should not be on the streets. They're on a little longer, and therefore potentially doing maybe incidents like the last one.
Yeah.
Supposedly the cop in this last one did have a record.
That's what I've heard too. And I try to fact check a lot of the stuff that I read, but I'm sure that there's a lot of truth to that one. I've checked a lot of the information. Sure, I won't say locally that's the situation, but we can't just see this as a local kind of thing. We have to go beyond the borders of our community, which is pretty well balanced at this point for what we know. So, yeah, I think a national registry of police is really, really necessary, because it's true. From what I understand, that police can get fired from one department and go to the city next door and get another job. So some kind of a way of preventing that. And there's some way, and I think our police department does a good job of trying to keep up with the street actions of our police. Chief Thrasher said they actually review the videos that our policemen take of themselves when they're out on the street, and they assess those and see how our police are doing. And because our police department is accredited and tries to and maintains that accreditation, then I think that helps keep our cops on the up and up. But across the country, that's not the truth, and across the state, that may not be the truth either. I know there aren't that many accredited police departments. So that's one thing police departments can do, is work on getting that accreditation. And another thing is just legislatively pass laws that insist on certain things, like the force that's being used immediately. The immediate force that's being used, that has to change. And so through the accreditation process, and you should really talk with the chief about this, he can say it much more eloquently than I can, but there's a process for the steps you go through when you're making arrests. So there's lots of things that can be done, and I believe that we need to make those things happen now. And the public needs to get involved and know the things that we're talking about. Nobody's talking about no police force. They're only talking about changing the way police do their jobs. So there's a very thin line, I believe, and police have to walk that line between really protecting the community and also arresting those folks that are doing bad things in the community. And they must get very nervous about doing the right thing, but it's pretty clear what the right thing would be, and I think they need to continue doing the right thing.
All right, Councilwoman Gwen Calhoun.
That's right.
Thank you so much for
You're
joining
welcome.
us.
You're so welcome.
You
yeah,
betcha.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you. Are you going to be there for the vigil tonight at 6?
I will be, yeah. I heard it was at 5. Is it 5 or 6?
I think it's 6.
Okay, all right. Yes, I'll be there.
Anybody else that you know that's going to be here, as far as from around the city or anything that you can tell us or not?
Not that I'm aware of. William Benning, one of our city council members who was there last night, said he would probably be here today too. So, and others, I don't know. We haven't communicated about that.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No peace! No justice! No peace! No peace!
Well, that was the interview with Councilwoman Gwen Calhoun. Now, with the wind and with the noise, I really don't know if you heard much of that. I'm sorry about that. I probably should have talked to her in a more quieter setting.
No peace! Black lives matter!
It's okay. Yeah, the wind when it picks up can get pretty high. watching live coverage of the Sierra Vista Unite movement, walk, and vigil. We are at the four corners of Fry and AZ90. Chili's by Chili's in Valero. The vigil is tonight at 6 o'clock at Veterans Park, and we will be there live for you, because I am going to have to probably hightail it out of here for now, because I need some water, cold, fresh, ice cold water to wet my palate ASAP. So I am going to sign off, but we will be back with live coverage at 6 o'clock for the vigil. Have yourselves a great day, folks. And peace out. So long.
justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Say his name, George Floyd. 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 No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. George Floyd. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter.
They want to turn the protest into a debate.
George Floyd!
For his YouTube channel.
Well, he was just kind of being himself. He wanted to know if, we can get into a debate, and I just respectfully let him know, hey, this is not time for a debate. We're having a peaceful protest, and then anything else, we can debate afterwards if he'd like. And he just continued to, trying to assert himself, wanted to debate with any and everybody that he could.
Is he from like a specific YouTube channel we heard, or some sort of show or channel that he does on YouTube? Is that what it was?
I'm not.
That's what we heard. I don't know.
I'm not sure at all. I've never even seen his face or heard anything of him before, so I have no clue.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was just wondering, but it sounds like well, there he is right now. I'm Todd Ryan with Cool FM Online.
Ian Rice, YouTuber. I'm Not a Zombie's my channel. I do a lot of I do debates, I do ghost towns, I do some political stuff, some religious stuff on my channel. And the debate I actually want to have is one that actually needs to happen, which is, what exactly do you do? It's one thing to just say, well, I want this change. I want, and that's the thing, is you use a generic phrase. I want change. I want change. I want change. What change specifically are you saying? Be specific. Tell me something like I said, well, what about changing the rules for the use of lethal force? Things like that. Officers, if you look at it, every department actually has a breakdown of how go from a verbal command, physical command, non-lethal to lethal. Those are things you'd want to look at if you actually want to cause change. That's how you cause change, by having that portion of the debate. Just screaming something like, well, oh, it's all racism, it's all this, it's all that. Well, is it really racism, or is it the fact that, for example, if you Google it, police officer attracts more psychopaths, APA, an actual legit psychopaths, not lying, than almost any other profession? It's like in the top 10 professions, media is another one. So what about saying things like, well, do we have regular mental health evaluations for law enforcement officers? And that mental health evaluation, does it happen internally in his department, or do we send him somewhere else so we can have a neutral person look at him and say, yay or nay, this person is mentally fit for duty, this person is definitely not mentally fit for duty? That's where you're going to start to cause legitimate change. I would be willing to bet money if we, say, for example, had every police officer undergo a mental health evaluation from a doctor that's not from their department. I'd be willing to bet a lot of people would lose their state certification in law enforcement. Those are the things that we need to start looking at, saying something like, before we even discuss your authority as an officer, let's discuss whether or not you're even mentally fit to be carrying that out. Mental health is an extremely serious issue right now. Look at how many of these freaking shooters that we have that are going around killing people. 60-70% of them were mentally ill and blabbing off and telling people they were going to do it. But there's very minimal debate on things like mental health. Our system of laws can be voted on. That's one of the most important things that most people don't understand. Your power to vote still has some ability to do things for you. If you really want to change things, start getting to your local voting booth. I am a poll worker. I worked from Barack Obama's all the way up through Trump's elections. I did provisional ballots. I've been a marshal. I've been a judge. I even take that day off from work. I'm there every day, 5 a.m. until I think 8 when it's all over. If you want to change, there are ways and things you can do in your community. These protests do help and they do draw attention to it, but if all you can do is shout phrases and slogans, I'm sorry, you got nothing. You're not able to actually sit down and hand out, like, for example, when we declared our independence from Great Britain, the Declaration of Independence, we handed down a list of abuses, and it wasn't just one grievance or gripe we had. We said after a long train of them, and we broke it down. And we even broke down things like in the Declaration of Independence we discussed, we've tried to have these conversations with you. We try to be political. We set up these, these kinds of things, and the British are tearing it down and refusing us to allow it. Many people don't understand that their founding fathers died. People died just so they could stand in that corner and say those things. If this was Great Britain 200 years ago, the British would have just shot you. Or they'd have put you in a prison camp where you really don't want to go. In North Korea, you'd be dead. You'd be killed for being disrespectful to the people in North Korea. Hell, one of our tourists got 10 years for freaking taking a stupid poster off a wall. I mean, there's just so many different ways we can actually get effective change. Just screaming won't help. That's why I was trying to get into an actual debate. When I would say things like, why don't we change the rules for lethal force? Why don't we look at mental health? No one had anything to actually say in response other than to scream and yell, which I understand why everybody's pissed off. I really hate to say it, but I even think the Dallas shooter's motives were, I'm not going to say justified, but I can understand why he did that. And that's the thing they don't understand. I feel less and less and less sorry for watching people get shot dead every day when they're the ones who provoke their own deaths. Like the Bible says, you reap what you sow. Do unto others as you would do unto, do unto others you'd have done unto you. Even an atheist who understands the concept of karma, that what you put out is going to come back to you at some point in your life, whether you like it or not. That's just the way it goes. So make sure what you're putting out to the world is a good thing. That's a misconception. If your air is crossing your vocal cords, you can breathe. This one came up with the guy, I call him Cigarettes Guy in New York. The police officer used an artery lock on his arm here that comes from, I believe it's from Sambo. Because I've seen Russian Spetsnaz discussing that, because it can actually knock a person out very quickly. But the point of cutting off, because that's your carotid artery, the point of cutting off blood from the carotid artery is so you have no oxygenated blood going in. And even the department said, we don't encourage the use of it because it's generally used in killing someone. Spartans, for example, didn't participate in the wrestling in Olympics because Pancratian teaches killing. So there are some methods of wrestling and fighting that some of us who like history are themselves. I used to do some martial arts. I did some sparring. Once you get into that, you know a little bit more about it, and you know there are certain moves and things that are done when you're trying to kill someone, not subdue them. And by pressing on the neck, because even they said that's not a department policy, by pressing on the guy's neck, you're cutting off oxygenated blood into the brain. Even donut operator, I would call him a police officer apologist on YouTube, even he looked at it and just said himself, and he'll admit, I'm biased towards police, but even he looked at it and went, after 7 minutes and 37 seconds, he said, yeah, with your knee on your neck, that if you want to kill a guy, that's how you do it. Even, you know, a lot of the guys on, because like I said, I do some YouTube, my channel, and even the cops on YouTube have said this ain't gonna work. This is bullshit. This is just straight up murder. But once we have even law enforcement, because this is actually, I think, kind of a unique opportunity where even law enforcement's paying attention to this. Now's the time to sit down and actually write out what you want to see. Write out what you think would work. If you've got lawyers, like one of my friends is a lawyer, sit down with one of your friends who's an attorney and ask them, how do you actually write a law? How would I sit down with you and work out a list of requests / demands that I would then in turn say submit to I think Gail Griffin is still in office. Then we have I want to say it's Kristen Sema. I can't remember her name. I believe she just won or Anna Kilpatrick. So I mean, and there's offices here in Sierra Vista. There's offices in Tucson. You go in, you sit down, and you present the stuff to. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm standing on an edge here. That's how you actually affect change. I mean, the people honking their horns, they're only honking their horns in many cases just because you're the cause of the moment. They don't necessarily agree with you. They just see something going on and honk. I could get a few hundred people out here to probably just stand out with signs that have recipes or little fortune cookie sayings, and everybody would still honk thinking something's important is going on. I'm not saying that it doesn't affect change, and I'm not saying it doesn't play an important role. And even though all they can do is shout generic slogans and phrases, it does still help get conversation going, but that's all it does. You're just shouting Facebook memes. You need more than just a meme. The meme is the beginning, the representation. It's the seed you're planting of the growth that you want. If they're gonna do this, the best thing to do is to present that stuff. You're talking about protesting. A lot of people don't care about your protests. You got to cause change. And
all right, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Nice to meet you. I'm Not a Zombie's my YouTube channel. I'll be posting the ones I made.
All right.
So I'll see you guys later.
All right. Take care. All right. Looks like that gentleman was just wanting to have a discussion. How are things going, Sienna?
Everything's going beautiful.
Now, you're going to have the vigil tonight. You want folks to come down if they can't come down now.
Yes, absolutely. If you could come down at 6 o'clock and just show your respects. Like I said, this is to all of the fallen lives that we've had. This is also to show our town how we can unite and come together, and for our veterans. So everybody's welcome, please.
All right, you got it. Thank you, Sienna.
Absolutely.
Sienna Walker, she's one of the organizers of the event today.
Sierra.
I'm sorry? Oh, Sierra.
I still love you, Todd.
Sorry.
I still love you, Todd.
There we go. I always screw up on names. Anyway, they're going to be here till 5:30 on the corners here. And then down to Veterans Park. I've got to go for sure this time. I know I said I was signing off earlier, but then I saw a guy talking to these guys, and I wanted to know what he was doing. And I guess we found out. Not necessarily quite as sinister as I thought. And I've got to go because my phone is about to go dead, so I'm going to have to get going. Largely because of that. So we'll sign back on at 6 o'clock tonight from Veterans Park in Sierra Vista. Todd Ryan on the road for CoolFMOnline.com.
Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege!
George Floyd!
George Floyd! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Black is beautiful! Black is beautiful! Black is beautiful!
Black is beautiful!
Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Justice! No peace! No peace! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! 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 No justice! No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Black is beautiful! Black is beautiful! Black is beautiful! Black is beautiful! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Abolish white supremacy! Check your privilege! Check your privilege! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Silence is violence! Silence is violence! Silence is violence! Silence is violence! George Floyd! George Floyd! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! Say her name! Breonna Taylor! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe! Abolish white supremacy! 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 Check your privilege! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Breathe!
I can't breathe!
I can't breathe!
I can't breathe!
I
can't breathe!
Say his name!
George Floyd!
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 Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Say her name!
Breonna Taylor!
Black lives matter!
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 Black is beautiful!
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 No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace! Say his name! Say his name! Black lives matter! What's your name?
Todd Ryan with Cool FM.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I talk to you before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I thought. Yeah.
Are you going to be showing your
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, see you. More nuts. More nuts. Second or third time I'm signing off. I'm sorry, but this is actually the real time I'm signing off. So